Welcome back, everyone, to the Made in Spain podcast. We are back after a pretty interesting summer. And my name is Laura Garcia, and I'm your co-host along with
Nalini Sharma.
Today, we are doing the first episode of our season 4, and it's a summer roundup. We're going to be sharing with you a little bit of our experiences this summer, which have been a lot of fun and very diverse. So we're really looking forward to it. So maybe, Nalini, you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit about Made in Spain Summer Edition. What was your summer like?
Summer Edition. Okay, well, first I have to say, between the two of us, we've taken up horse riding or horseback riding. Apparently there's some controversy as to what you call it. You get on the back of a horse.
Well, my thing was I saw an Irish comedian, and again, me being kind of half Spanish, half English, I don't know what if there is a correct way.
Right.
But I did see an Irish comedian talk about the fact that he's like, is this like an American thing or North America, or that they say horseback riding? And his point was, well, where else are you going to ride a horse if it's not on its back? So it's like horse riding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, so we have taken up horse riding.
We've taken it up as a sort of a joined hobby.
Yeah.
We did a trail ride a while back, and then we thought, well, why don't we take some lessons?
Yes.
So we've been taking lessons. It's been going, I think, well.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably I would call it more than any found passion. I think it is quite interesting that we decided to take something on like this in the height of the summer.
Oh,
so again, this is our summer roundup.
Yeah.
So Nalini, do you want to describe to our listeners what summer, particularly, let's just say the kind of July, August, is like here in Spain? So for those who haven't visited, they know what to expect.
Okay. First, I think it's really interesting that people who have time off choose to come to a country, whether it's Spain or a different European country, that is at the height of its tourism, high season, prices, as well as heat. And I know for a lot of people, it's the time when their kids are off from school, so they are kind of forced to take their holidays then. But summer can be enjoyable here. However, it is very hot, especially if you are in a city and you don't have access to get to the beach or water. Things tend to be quite crowded. You have to make sure, even if you're in a little town, that you make a reservation for, an afternoon lunch. A lot of places that you go, especially in August, I've seen a lot of funny TikTok videos and Instagram videos where people turn up in the middle of August and everything is closed in the town, but not closed as in for a couple of hours. They're closed, like they've left. They're not there.
Mostly not in the area where we are in the Costa Blanca, because it is
touristy,
super high season, but absolutely in kind of more rural towns or even cities where, you have people just basically leave for the whole month of August. It is almost, I will say, other than tourist-related activities, it is almost impossible to get anything done here in August.
Yeah,
anything from fixing your car to getting a visa to whatever it is.
Anything. It's
just
people
really,
aren't working.
really hard.
Yeah.
No. And the way I kind of perceive it is, it is super tough to work in August because of the weather.
The heat.
It's very hot. Then you have the fact that there's a ton of people who are not working. So if you're trying to get something done, like half of the country's not working. So it's kind of pretty annoying. And then on top of everything, it feels like everyone's on holiday, like on vacation.
It's like kind of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, exactly.
You wake up and you're like, vacation day again. I mean, that being said, people do tend to travel. You have family that come in. I have a friend at the golf course where my son golfs, and I said, hey, how was your summer? I just saw him this past week, and he said, great. We had 60 visitors over the course of the summer. And that's when I say to myself, I'm really happy I'm not a European, because it's a far flight for Canadians to make it here. Whereas if you have family in Europe, it's an hour, maybe 2 hours. And, they hop on a flight and they're,
So was the great genuine?
Yeah.
Because like I think that would be like the ultimate nightmare for me.
I mean, I think
Like
he was
60 people.
I mean,
visiting?
they weren't in
Not
their
at the same
home,
time, right?
But over the course of the summer, and he said at one point they had 30 guests staying in different locations.
Oh, my
but
goodness.
to the point that he had to call for reservations at a restaurant, and it would be different people calling to like a reservation for 5 and then a reservation for 5
6.
and then 6, because he's like, there's no way you can call a little restaurant in the Costa Blanca and say, yeah, can I have a reservation for 30 people?
No.
It's impossible.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I thought, yeah, that was an interesting busy summer. So I typically go home to Toronto at least 1 or 2 times a year. So we had a family function to attend to in July, which we went for. So that was nice. And then I spent 3+ weeks in Toronto, my hometown. And I will say even though I was born and raised there, this is the first time that I've lived in the downtown area. I mean, the center of the city. So I did not grow up there. I grew up on the outskirts, and I would always travel in. So if we went out with your friends, you're growing up, or even when I had my kids, it would be sort of a day out, let's go downtown and, for a lunch or walk along the boardwalk or go to the lake. But now I live there. And the last time, it was incredible. I was really, really happy. And the last time I was there, which was November, I had an accident last year, so I couldn't walk properly.
I remember it was taking you a while to get from A to B.
Yeah, and I had a cane in November, and it's slippery, and there's snow. And I was in a lot of pain. Like the cold really bothered me. So I was everything was a chore. Everything. Just to walk somewhere, it would be 1 hour of preparation, mental preparation. Like, I don't want to slip. I don't want to fall. Anyway, this time, as soon as I landed, I also traveled with my new little doggie, Luna. She traveled, I don't know, it's like a gift really from another planet. She is so good. She's a tiny little Maltipoo, not a sound for the entire trip. And I will say they make a big deal about the pet passport. So I think it's super funny. You cannot check in online if you have a pet. We flew Air Canada. You cannot check in online. So and they tell you with a pet, you need to go now even extra early.
So now you're 4 hours ahead.
Right. So, and my husband, he's like, the flight's noon. We should leave at 5 a.m. He's one of... He's one of those. But anyway, we show up, we get to the counter, and he says, "Oh, we have a pet," and it's all 4 of us standing there with this little dog in the little carry bag thing. And the girl says, "Okay, great." And my son is standing and he's watching what she's doing. So she opens the pet passport, which they're only looking for a rabies shot to make sure that you have the proper vaccinations before you board the plane. I don't even think, Kai told me, he says, she didn't really look at anything. She just kind of opened it to a page, closed it, put it back into the folder, gave it back to us, and we're still standing there. And I thought, she's going to ask to see the dog.
No.
Like check the dog, that there is a dog. It's not a guinea pig or a cat or something.
A tarantula.
Nothing. Zero. I had...
Maybe she didn't even really know what she was looking for.
You fill it out. Like, you have to fill it out that you're traveling with a dog. Oh, wow. And she did not check anything. And we walked away. That took us all of, to check in, maybe 7 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
It was nothing. And then, of course, 3 hours waiting in the airport. And when we entered Canada, we thought, for sure, they're going to be asking questions about the dog. Check the dog. We're bringing a dog that's not from Canada, but from here, back into the country, make sure she has all the paperwork. To this day, nobody has looked in that bag to see if I was actually carrying a dog or any other paraphernalia in the bag.
That is actually kind of scary.
Nothing. Nothing. And we got pulled over at Pearson Airport for 2 hours, detained because of my purse.
Because they wanted to check if it was real.
Yes, and how much it was, and that it was considered importation. And I kept asking the customs officer, "Do you want to see the dog?"
No.
And he said, No, she's fine. I said, "What? You don't want to see? Do you want to see the pet passport?" "No, you're good.
No, we just want to know if we can get money from you for your
He's
purse."
Like, "Sit down and wait there." I was like,
"That's crazy."
Yeah, and we left with the dog, and I said, "I think this is the most hilarious thing that nobody ever checked to see if Luna was a dog, if we're just crazy people traveling with a stuffed animal. Nothing.
An emotional support stuffed animal.
Zero. Anyway, so as soon as I arrived in the city and we got to the apartment and the kids went upstairs, I immediately went out with her for a walk. And that's not me. I normally get off a plane. I have to shower. Like, my clothes have to go in the laundry. I feel very dirty. I was just like, I'm going for a walk. I'm in downtown Toronto. Anyway, we had a walk and everybody stopped me. Everybody with the little dog.
So if you want to see Luna, you should check out our TikTok, the Made in Spain podcast TikTok. You can see her there. She is a people magnet.
She is, but I was just so happy to be in my hometown.
Yeah.
And anyway, the city itself was at its best. Toronto in the summer is really at its best. There's a lot of festivals. People are out. Everybody's, in a good mood. People are dressed very nicely.
So the sun's out for most of the time.
Yeah.
Then.
So
it's not boiling hot.
And it's not boiling hot like it is here. So when you go out in the morning for a walk, it's just really fresh and nice. And
so what is like the kind of like average temperature in Celsius that you will get there in August?
I mean, you can get up to 30s,
okay,
mid-30s.
So
it gets hot.
Yeah.
But it's very rare that it gets where you get a wall of heat for 3, 4, 5 weeks on end. You'll get a couple of hot days or a hot week. And then, of course, everybody's complaining. Like, oh, my God, the heat. Meanwhile, we're all outside. This is like, it's not hot at all. Where we live, it's very convenient that we, across the street, they have some of these very interesting sort of health places, health and wellness.
Yeah.
So one of them is Jaybird. Mm-hmm.
This is like the Equinox of Canada?
Equinox is in Canada, by the way. It's just down the street the other direction. But here's a recommendation. If you go anywhere into any city and you're there for a week or two and, you're staying at an Airbnb, your friends or family, most gyms have a little pass you can buy. That's a fraction of the cost. So
you can either buy a week pass, and the other thing sometimes, and without being cheeky or anything, I have gone into gyms before and go, look, I'm here just for a week, or I'm traveling
they'll
for work.
give you a pass.
And they're like, yeah, well, why don't you just... Actually, some gyms, they will just say, just come in for the day. Because we have like a day that you can just come check out the gym.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad because I'm like, but I'm not going to move here. So you do understand that you're letting me come in for free. A lot of places are okay with it, particularly the big gyms.
Yeah, but Jaybird is, I don't know if they have other locations. I just know the one across the street from where we are. But it is an indoor Pilates. So of course it's going to be indoor. Pilates not outside, but it's heated.
Horseback riding.
Yeah, heated. So
okay, so like a Bikram yoga sort of thing.
Right. So the rooms are heated and it's also in the dark.
Oh.
Right. So my first class here, and I'm always the person who'll go in and be like, you know what? I'm going to try this. So I never think, what am I doing? Like, this is not a good idea.
Pilates in the dark?
It's Pilates in the dark.
But like reformer or?
There's two. Did I not tell you this?
No.
That the reform. Oh my God. Okay. The reformer, it's a class. It's a reformer class. And I mean, I work out here. I think I'm pretty strong. It's a whole other level in a reformer class. You need to know the machines. There's straps going with your legs and your arms, and just moving the actual bed itself is really heavy.
I call it the fun torture machine.
Oh my goodness! I thought, I'm gonna do my 14 classes that I paid like nothing for. Every day I'm coming to reformer class. I did that twice.
No, you didn't. Oh my God!
I went 2 times, and then I had to go to the regular dark Pilates, which again, very hard. You're sweating. It's dark. You can't see anything, so you can't look at what the other person's doing.
What's the whole deal with it being dark?
So you can be free as a jaybird, and nobody will judge you. There are no mirrors, Laura. You're just on your mat in your own moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I also did a bowl class. Do you know what that is? Where she's just with the bowl banging the bowl.
Oh, you mean like, oh, the sound healing.
Right, sound healing.
Okay, I was
yeah.
like, a bowl class. I was like, what?
But I thought there actually would be Pilates. It was a full hour of that,
Listening to the bing.
the bowl, and she comes right next to you, and you have to have your eyes closed with a towel and
Yeah.
all this. I was
It's like meditational sound healing.
yeah, I thought I was going to work off the fried chicken I had for lunch in that class. No, that did not happen. Yeah, so-
Tibetan bowl sound healing. A bowl.
but listen, super cool concept. I mean, honestly, I wish we had stuff like that here because, you can do.
You know, there was a whole sound healing thing with the bowls and everything, like a event that they did. I think it was like the 28th of August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Alicante. I just think a lot of things happen around here and we don't find out about them.
Until it's, yeah. And I mean, I love Jaybird. It was a super cool experience. I really, it was a huge part of my stay there because I scheduled my day around going to the class. And then my son, he went to this other place called Othership.
Okay.
Which is an odd name, but it's it's a sauna, but it's really, really hot, and they do breath work with you in there, and then you immediately do the ice plunge. And
this Kai?
Yeah, so he went, and then a lot of the professional athletes in the city use it. So
Like high
when
performance.
Yeah, so when the basketball is on, all the Raptors are in Othership doing their heat and ice bath. So he loved that. We went to a couple museums, we went to parks, we visited family. What else? We ate out quite a bit, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Did a couple terraces, see the
that's
city.
Toronto, but before you actually went to Toronto, you did go to the Formula One.
Yes, we went to Austria.
That's still summer.
That's still summer. We went to, again, and we took the dog. Not to the dogs are not allowed at Formula One, but we took her. We actually hired a babysitter for the day. A girl came.
For the dog.
For the dog, yeah. And she just walked her around Vienna.
Cool.
Yeah, so... and I have a friend who from Mallorca, she lives there, so I got to see her. But the Formula One was, really fantastic, but it's very far away from Vienna. It's a good 2-hour drive.
It's probably a longer drive than the flight from here.
Yes. Yeah, it was long. It's a straight road. It's not hard, and it's very pretty. It's very, very pretty. However, once you get there, there's nothing. There's no shops. There's a gas station. That's all you have. A gas station.
And a Formula One track.
And the Formula One track, which the race, well, we saw qualifying. We went to qualifying, which sometimes is more exciting than the race. But that was an amazing experience.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and then we had some nice food and walked around. Vienna is a small city. Have you been?
No, I have not been. Austria is on my list. I think I've only been to the airport. So you did Vienna, you did Toronto.
We've been to Madrid a couple of times.
We've been to Madrid. We've done a little bit of everything. I will say this for people, and I always mention this to people when they ask me, like, when is a good time to visit Spain? Particularly, and you can hear that Nalini and myself included, we tend to kind of try to leave during this kind of hot summer period. So I always tell people, come any time of the year, but try to avoid July and August.
And also just for your own enjoyment. If you're coming here to see the sites are very crowded and it's very hot, and the air conditioning in most of Europe is not the same as you might be used to in America, let's say, where you walk into a shopping mall and it's 0 degrees.
And also
it's different.
Prices really do vary. So, we were checking out some hotels in the area just to kind of do like a little staycation for a couple of days, for the weekend. Some hotels that you can get for just over $100 any time of the year were over $400 for the same room. Yeah. So you really need to watch it. So those are the things that you did.
Yes.
Now, together, before you left, we did have a really neat experience at this white party.
Oh, have we not talked about the white party?
No, we have not. It's been a minute. It's been a really crazy summer. So I think we should do a shout out to DJ Sean Lester and his white party. It was absolutely amazing. It was actually a very funny experience because neither Nalini or I knew where we were going. And by the way, disclaimer, this is not like a Puff Daddy or P. Diddy white party or anything like that, okay? Just to be clear. Although, like, the timing of it and him calling it a white party when all this stuff was going on with the P. Diddy trial was kind of, like, interesting. But it was called a white party because we were supposed to dress in white, and it was extremely hot, and it was a day party.
It was fun though.
It was super
a lot of fun.
And it was a great concept because it's during the day, and a lot of partying here, in this country does happen very, very late at night. And I think for me, I've turned into one of these people that like turns into a pumpkin at like 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, me too.
So for me, it's like, oh, great, there's a party and it happens during the day. It was a pretty comical experience. There was a lady doing like these, belly dancing.
Yeah.
And again, check out our socials. We've got some videos up there. One gentleman that was there actually somehow managed to get a little baby wild boar.
This is not a lie. This is true.
This is true. Like, he walked in and he's like, look what I have. And I'm like, where did you get that? And where is the mom? Because, by the way, they tend to be very aggressive animals. And I'm sure she's not appreciating that you took her baby.
She went. She's like, oh, I want to go see the baby pig. And I said, no.
Nalini's like, I'm not getting near that.
Yeah, I'm not going.
So, we are in the middle of nowhere, which Reyes is like a little, place that I don't know how you would even describe it. It's like a town towards more rural.
Yeah, it's in the
getting
interior.
Further away from the sea. And there's a lot of people from the UK, mostly. Yeah. I think we may have, there's a couple of Spanish people, but not really that many people that weren't from the UK.
But the thing with Sean's party, the white party, was that it was for the slightly older crowd.
Yeah, there was a variety.
There were younger people there, but I think that was his deal. That that's why he put it in the day for the old.
I don't know. May I remind you, Nalini, that you did have one kid. We're gonna call him a kid who must have been all of like 18 years old.
He was 18. Yeah, who proceeded to ask me, "How old are you?" I said,
"How old is that? You're not really doing this, are you?"
Yeah, I'm like, "How old are you?" And then he's like 18. I said, "Yeah, well, I got 2 kids older than you, so
go away."
Yeah, move.
So that was our kickoff to our summer. Was the white party, which was absolutely hilarious.
And you've done traveling as well.
I have done traveling. Sadly, I will say that this summer, a lot of my travel has been for work, but I am saving up for the great vacation, just time-wise saving up for the great vacation that we have planned for next February when we go to Trinidad for the carnival. But I did travel for work this summer to Angola, which was super interesting because even though I have been to Angola before, this time it was actually to a camp. And
so first of all, how do you get to Angola from here?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm actually lucky in the sense that a lot of people have it a lot harder in terms of route, but from here, you go to Madrid, Lisbon, and then Lisbon, Luanda, which is the capital of Angola.
Right.
It is very easy to actually go to Luanda. Angola, even though it's a country that a lot of people don't travel to for any kind of like vacation or tourism, but it's got some really cool places to go to if you want to go like off the beaten path. Let's put it that way.
Do you recommend that?
No.
Okay.
I would not recommend it. I mean, let's just face it. Like, there's cool stuff there,
right?
And if you're there for other reasons, there you will find like very interesting things to do. Like, would I kind of say go there as a holiday destination? No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. But it's an adventure to go for work for sure. And what happened for where I was going, normally I go to the capital city, stay there, but this is for a particular camp.
Right.
So you actually have to get this Dash 8 smaller plane, not like a propeller plane.
Yeah.
And kind of go into the camp, and there's monkeys everywhere in the camp, and I was facilitating a session, and you have to be exactly on time because all the food's outside, and if you don't let people out on time, the monkeys can get a hold of the food.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, okay, this is a whole different reason to ensure that I'm on time and that we're taking breaks on time so the monkeys don't steal the food.
But they didn't let you take any photos.
No, they did not or going onto the plane, or it was kind of like no photos in the airport and that kind of thing. Again, like security thing. But the interesting thing is, I was expecting to have to stay in kind of a smaller room or somewhere not so nice because I know other people who, stay out there. And it turns out that, we land and then we kind of drive for like 40 minutes and the back roads that look like, the favelas or whatever in Brazil.
Yeah.
And we end up at this like really nice 5-star looking hotel. Wow. I had an amazing room. So it was a real interesting experience. So that was Angola, and I have been to Paris recently as well. And I'm going actually back to Paris tomorrow as we're recording this for work. And it's always nice going to Paris because there's always something going on in the city, and it is a beautiful time of the year. Paris is one of these cities that gets extremely cold, so now it feels totally different. When you're showing up. But I definitely think the highlights to me in terms of travel, Madrid, Angola, Paris, but most of it for work this time round. So.
But that's okay. But sometimes it's nice to actually just be in your home.
No, and we've really loved it. And I know we'll talk about it in the Slice of Life, but we have had some really, really great moments being able to enjoy the area. Because as mentioned, I think many times in August, everybody's kind of like running away from here if you live here because, you can't park the car anywhere. I will go places in a taxi because I just don't want to deal with having to try and get parking. That's all up and down the coast. Yeah. So that's something else as well. Sometimes I know people want to get like a rental. It makes sense for many reasons, depending on where you're going, and especially if it's the height of the summer. I really think it's better to just take taxis or take the public transport because it is an absolute mess to try to park your car.
Yeah. Let's do that, Laura. Let's take the bus to Albir.
Yay! Let's not the bus. Okay, so let's go to our Slice of Life. Our first Slice of Life of season 4.
Keeping it wholesome here with 0. This is
Seagram,
our Seagrams. 0. So, okay, the reality here is that alcohol is very cheap. It's Cheers. Take a sip. You can really find, it's delicious actually, drinks for not a ton of money, and it's hot. So sometimes it's easy to go overboard or to maybe, every day have a drink if you go out somewhere. It's just very common.
Yeah.
So to give yourself a break, maybe try the 0. And what I found really interesting is that the big supermarket near us, Carrefour, I saw they have a whole section. I don't know if you've seen this, and it's different brands. So we have the Seagrams. There are a few other brands that have the 00, but the section was actually completely empty. It was completely sold out.
I think there's a generational and there's a cultural thing happening that is moving people towards sometimes not wanting to drink alcohol related to, either partying or going out. And I think it's great for people to have choices. Actually, my dad yesterday was asking me, what do you want this? Why would you drink non-alcoholic gin? I said, well, you have to understand. He says, why won't you just drink water? I'm like, because, imagine that you're out, for example, and everybody else is drinking, and you don't want...
Well, it's that social pressure.
Exactly. And you're like, you know what? So then if you just order, an alcohol-free gin and tonic, no one has to know. It's up to you. Or if you want them to know, you can share it. But what I'm saying is it is helpful sometimes, if you don't want to drink and you don't want to have to listen to people, because sometimes there is a lot of peer pressure or people around that will say why don't you have a drink? And sometimes, you never know what's going on with people, but they may not want to drink.
Exactly. And also I just now that I've started using this in the summer, and it's really refreshing. It quenches your thirst. So I use the sugar-free tonic as well.
Yeah, so we have that here as well, which
no
is,
calories.
In this case, it's 0 Schweppes, which is quite interesting because, again, if you're not just counting calories, but let's just say if you are aware or conscious of your calorie intake, tonic has a lot of calories.
It does. And when you have a drink like this and you're in mixed company, nobody says anything to you.
No.
And you feel in a way, because I always thought it was very strange too, the 0 non-alcoholic beer. Why would you drink that? But then you just think, listen, you're in a mixed environment, you're at a social function, you go to somebody's house, a barbecue, whatever. it's just easier sometimes. You have something in your hand, you're still quenching your thirst, but you're not partaking in something that you don't really want to partake in at that moment in time.
Or, like the awkward moment. I just thought of this, but like when people just find out that they're pregnant or something, right? And they're at this event and everybody's like, why aren't you drinking? Like, this is a perfect opportunity to kind of like hide it. So
anyway, it's interesting and obviously very popular.
Yeah. So Seagram 00 with tonic, a nice little light, refreshing gin and tonic. So for our slice of life today, since it's our summer roundup, we wanted to talk about our favorite moments of the summer. Okay. So Nalini, do you want to start?
Sure. I will say one of my favorite moments, first of all, being together with my 3 kids. That was super fun.
I love the pictures as well.
Yeah, that is always a special moment, I think, for any mother to have her children reunited in one place at one time. But another really favorite moment was for your birthday. We did that sunset horseback riding. I don't know, horse ride. We went to stables. Do you remember the name now?
So I believe it's like Fantasy Party or Fantasy Farm or something like that.
I think it's Fantasy Farm. It's Fantasy. It's in Calpe. It's this little place where they do unicorn parties for kids.
Yes.
I did not have a unicorn party for Laura for her birthday.
I wish we had a unicorn party. So actually I was writing notes for this episode and thinking about what we would call different sections. And for the slice of life, I was thinking, I saw a unicorn and you saw Big Mike as the kind of title of the slice of life. So we'll get to that. But yeah, so this lady and her family that have the stable, I think it's Fantasy Farm. We'll actually put it in the notes of the episode if anyone in the area, because she actually shared with us that there are a lot of people that, come in with their kids on holiday and stuff and have one of these unicorn parties. She does private parties and then she does like the event where a couple of times a month she, puts the ponies and the white horses in full unicorn gear.
Oh.
This is like rainbow manes.
Wow.
They have like a horn. I had this whole conversation with her about it because after you had this beautiful idea for my birthday gift experience, I actually went back with my father, who had not ridden a horse in like more than 30 years or something, and we did the same trail ride.
It's a beautiful trail.
It's beautiful.
Did you do it at sunset?
Yes, we did the sunset trail.
It's so, she times it perfectly where you go out on the horse and it's they have obviously a guide with you, somebody to stay with you, and you go through the sort of the trail, the mountains, and you end up at the top right when the sun is setting and you're on the horse and it's breezy up there. It was really
And you
beautiful.
see the Peñón de Ifach in Calpe.
Yes.
So if any of you want to check out what that looks like, the views and everything, go check out our socials, particularly our TikTok. We've got a couple of posts about the specific trail ride. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that was one of your favorite moments?
And also when I was in Toronto, I worked out with Mike Van Wyck. Who anybody who's I'm laughing because he would not normally work out with somebody like me.
What do you mean?
He's like, with people who are competing in shows and stuff. So my brother works out with him. He's known as Big Mike. And he's very well known in the fitness world. So
Isn't he like Drake's trainer or something?
He used to work as his security, back in the day, but he does his own thing now. So he's quite well known. And so anyway, I did a session right after my brother's session, and it was, he was really good. It was fun because he's like a really tall, sort of intimidating looking guy.
I've seen the picture. The guy looks like the mountain from Game of Thrones or something. He's absolutely huge.
No, but he's super sweet, like really nice, not intimidating. Doesn't make you feel like you're an idiot when you're doing, the exercises. He doesn't yell at you or anything. And he was very helpful with just giving me tips and advice for my injury recovery, etc. So that was one of the highlights. And I did a little lunch for my son's birthday. Nice. And that was my summer.
Oh, nice. So I've got 3 favorite moments. I have to say the first one, well, in a weird way, I thought the white party was fun. Let's put it this way. It maybe not the favorite moment, but it's certainly memorable. But I do think up there was the experience with the trail ride. It was so special. And like Nalini said, I do think connecting with horses has actually been something, that's been a big part of this summer. Because there's something about hanging out with animals like that where you just forget about everything.
Absolutely.
You just disconnect. So the trail rides are amazing. So that moment, and kind of staying in the horse theme, we have been taking lessons the other day, which is still extremely hot right now, going in the horse riding lesson from trotting to galloping and actually feeling the speed on the horse. I think that's one of my favorite moments of the whole summer. And then the other one has been being able to spend time with my husband and my daughter on the beach.
Right.
So I am a total beach person. I've always loved the beach. And my husband's like always kind of, he's Canadian as well. So he's always like resisted the idea. It's like, well, he'll go to the beach and then it's like, okay, now we've been to the beach. Let's go. It's like 30 minutes. I'm like, no, that's not how it works here. You don't understand. You have to go on like picnic.
It's the whole day. It's the whole day.
It's at least a several hour event.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but Valentina, who, is autistic, this summer, for the first time, she actually was okay with staying on the beach instead of just wanting to run off. So at one point, we got her a sunbed, and she was like, chilling in the sunbed, like, a beach princess. I was like, this is great. I actually got to enjoy some time on the beach with the family, which was super nice, and I absolutely loved it. So I think that was definitely another favorite moment of the summer. I always kind of complain. I can hear myself the last few summers of like, oh, the summer's over and I've only made it to the beach once or whatever. I think my husband at one point, I was like, okay, why are we going to the beach so many times? Because he was really into it. And I think we went like 7 times in 2 weeks.
Good.
So yeah, really, really happy about that. It's been a special summer, and it's not over.
No.
We're going to speak in the...
Summer is still going here.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about summer in Spain. It's like the school holiday is extremely long because the schools don't have half term.
No.
So they take almost 3 months for summer, to the point where, most parents... There is the sadness of, we're no longer on vacation, but the happiness of, like, I'm getting rid of my kids finally, because it's like, this is a long time to have your kids at home.
I guess you would not have seen this commercial, but it's a Staples commercial, which is, do you know what Staples is?
Yeah, I do know what Staples is.
Okay, so they, at this time of the year, well, at least it's in Canada. I don't know if it's in the rest of North America, but it's the Christmas song. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes.
And like it's parents running around the Staples, throwing pens and erasers, and the kids are just like, and the parents are like so happy.
It is a lot to entertain them and all that. So, but but I will say, like I said, summer's not over. We are, our next episode, going to talk about the tomatina.
Yes.
Which is a little sneak peek. It always happens the last Wednesday
of August,
which is, interesting. So we'll talk about that in the next episode. And we're also going to Pride.
Yes.
Mature Pride is it actually called Mature Pride? To Pride in Benidorm next Saturday, which is the 6th of September. So qualifies still as summer. So summer's not over. But this was a little bit of our summer roundup that we wanted to share with you. So in season 4, just so you know what's coming, we're going to be speaking about the tomatina. We're going to be covering Pride. We are going to go a deep dive into Alicante and the gastronomic recognition that they have received lately, as well as being called out as somewhere great to retire.
Yes.
So lots of interesting stuff coming this season. Don't forget to subscribe, hit follow. It really helps us, and it continues to allow us to grow this podcast so that we can continue to connect with you. Okay. Before we go anywhere,
phrase of the day,
sentence of the day. Okay.
Sentence of the day. And this is non-alcoholic, so
yeah.
Usually by this point I've had a few sips, so okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so since we're in the theme of the summer and heat, I decided to pick this sentence. So the sentence is: hace un sol de justicia.
Sun is
Hace un sol de justicia.
like justice of the sun.
Yes, that is the literal translation. What do you think it means? Hace un sol de justicia.
You can't escape it.
It's like really, really hot. So I wanted to give a little bit of background of where that sentence comes from. It's quite funny. Funny now, but in the medieval times, they used to, in the part of Spain that's like super hot in the middle of the summer,
right,
they used to take people who were like in prison or whatever, and to like punish them. They would make them work in the sun in the hottest part of the day. So it's like the justice of the sun.
Wow.
Like, you're like using the sun to like
It's actually very clever.
Punish people.
It is punishment.
Sol de justicia. So until actually like researching where that came from for the episode, I didn't realize like there is a meaning to it. So
yeah,
it's kind of crazy. So
all right, well, good episode.
Thank you, everyone.
The Made in Spain podcast is an Everything's Rosy production, with executive producers and host Nalini Sharma and Laura Senior, with special thanks to production assistant Ayrton Nath.